For over 5 years, Texas Values has been leading the charge for faith, family, and freedom at the Texas Capitol and all around our state. We are the largest organization on these issues, and we have a proven track record of victory and results that include signed legislation, court victories, and being a trusted source for the media. In 2015, we drafted and helped pass the Pastor Protection Law. This law protects pastors from being forced by the government to perform marriages that go against their beliefs, like same-sex marriages. The law also keeps churches and church properties sacred. In 2013, we drafted and helped pass the Merry Christmas Law, which protects the religious freedom and free speech rights of children, parents, and teachers to acknowledge Christmas on public school grounds without fear of censorship. Just 3 years later, we successfully used the Merry Christmas Law to protect the rights of a public school employee who was told that she had to remove a message about the true meaning of Christmas.
Texas Values helped save Christmas in Texas schools.
In 2017, we helped pass the Freedom to Serve Children's Act, which is a religious freedom law that protects the rights of Texas adoption and foster care agencies like Buckner Homes for Children, Catholic Charities, and many other faith-based agencies that have been targeted with attacks across the country and in Texas because of their religious beliefs. The Freedom to Serve Children Act protects these faith-based agencies from being punished for their sincerely held religious beliefs, including the belief that life begins at conception and that marriage is between one man and one woman. Texas and Texas Values have set the example for the whole country, as this bill has inspired recent action before Congress on this same issue. The Texas State Legislature isn't the only place where we've been active. Texas Values is also involved in the court system, protecting your rights to faith, family, and freedom from illegal attacks and government overreach. In addition to filing legal amicus briefs at the United States Supreme Court on pro-life, pro-religious liberty, and pro-marriage issues, we're also suing the City of Houston for violating a Texas state law, as the City of Houston is trying to illegally force taxpayers to subsidize same-sex benefits. We've already won in this case at the Texas Supreme Court and the U.S. Supreme Court on preliminary rulings. This case is now back to being decided by a trial court in Houston and is the only case of its kind in the entire nation.
I got news for the mayor and Houston City Council. This is not California. This is the great state of Texas.
In addition to all of these areas of influence, Texas Values is not afraid to speak out in the public square. In fact, we get requests for media interviews almost every day. And we have over 250,000 followers on social media, which helps get our message across to a wide audience.
Government belongs to those who show up. With our strategic location being just 2 blocks from the Texas Capitol, we're able to accomplish these efforts and more. Our lobbyists and advocacy team are able to stay on top of breaking news and updates as we walk the halls of the state capitol fighting for faith, family, and freedom. Our team is able to draft, analyze, and educate legislators on pro-family legislation. We're able to stop bad bills before they get traction and able to guide good bills through the legislative process all the way to the governor's desk. Our team is able to testify in front of the Texas House and Senate, as well as the State Board of Education and the Department of State Health and Human Services, all of which are located right here in Austin. We've also testified in front of school boards and many local governments all across the state of Texas.
Our partner organization, Texas Values Action, gives us a truly comprehensive approach to advocacy by allowing us to hold elected officials accountable based on their voting records at the ballot box. Through Texas Values Action, we produce the Faith and Family Legislative Scorecard, a critical education and accountability tool for Texas voters to see where their legislators stood on the values that matter most. We also endorse and support pro-family candidates. In the 2018 primary season, we even co-hosted 2 of the largest candidate forums in the state. Additionally, we produce the most comprehensive and widely used voters guide in the state, equipping hundreds of thousands of Texans for both the primary and general elections at freevotersguide.com. Texas Values Action is the organization capable of effectively equipping and mobilizing values voters across the state of Texas.
All of this activity led to our first ever Faith, Family, and Freedom Policy Forum in September of 2018. This was a sold-out event for Texas Values, with hundreds in attendance, including hosting 40 national and local experts, as well as elected officials, for a 2-day educational summit. This event allowed us to educate, motivate, and activate Texans from across the state on how important issues are moving and what they can do to get involved. All of this has happened in just 5 short years, but we are not slowing down one bit. In fact, we're just getting warmed up. Our team is ready for the next legislative session in the fight for faith, family, and freedom. And with your help, the values that make Texas great will always be strong and always be protected.